Hey guys, it's Lee, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you what I think is the best beginner camera in 2023 for the money. And that camera, of course, is the Sony A6400. Now, I know I've talked about this camera before, and you're probably sick of me talking about it, but I love this camera, and I think that this is a great beginner camera for any photographer or aspiring photographer in 2023. Now, one of the first reasons why I say that is really when it comes down to the body itself. This is a very small and compact camera, and I think that makes it a great fit for somebody who's new to photography, because you and I both know when it comes down to photography, one of the main things that you're gonna have to do is take a lot of pictures. That's what everyone has to do when they first start when it comes down to photography. Take as many pictures as you can, as often as you can, every single day. Learn how to use your camera, learn how to use the exposure triangle, and really figure out how to take phenomenal photos with a camera, period. Because another thing that we know is that although great gear can really take your photography to the next level, you and I both know that gear is not everything when it comes down to photography. So as long as you have the eye and you know how to use your camera, you know how to manipulate light, you can take some amazing photos. And so the fact that this is small and compact and you can take this anywhere, you can put this in any bag, a book bag, a sling bag, a purse, it's always going to be with you, always in your body. And I think that in today's world, that has to be a hallmark of a great beginner camera. It's really the camera that you're going to use, right? Now, the second reason is the amazing lens selection that you have access to when it comes down to the Sony ecosystem. Now, not only do you have access to some amazing APS-C Sony lenses, you also have access to some third-party lenses as well. And not only that, you have access to both Sony and third-party full frame lenses as well. And I think that is another great feature about this camera that makes it a phenomenal option for a beginner photographer. So when it comes down to using APS-C lenses, so for instance, this sweet Sigma 16mm f1.4 DCDN lens, I love this lens, by the way. You have access to lenses like this and more. And the great thing about APS-C lenses is that they are more affordable than your full frame counterparts, right? You can really get some great lenses at some great prices, and you can start to, again, take some great pictures, learn how to use different focal lengths, understand depth of field, and you can learn all of that with these APS-C lenses. And to touch on the full frame lens aspect of things, when you're ready, right? When you feel like you're finally ready to move into the full frame world, you can start off by buying full frame lenses and you can use them on this camera. And that is going to be a great way to sort of transition into the full frame world without having to drop a lot of money all at one time. Now, hey, if you have the money and you can just drop it like that, then just go ahead and do that. But if that's not something that you can do and you want to learn photography, you want to make sure this is something that you can really be into down the road, then transitioning into full frame is going to be the best bet. Now, number 3 is the fact that this is a 24 megapixel camera. Now, although this is a very, very small camera, 24 megapixels is pretty damn good. And I mean, honestly, when it comes down to a lot of cameras on the market, some of them have, of course, increased the megapixels a little bit, but others are actually at this level or a little bit lower, even when we think about some of the full frame cameras out there. So 24 megapixels is going to be more than enough to take some phenomenal shots, get them printed, blow them up if you want to, and even take some client photos as well and make some money from photography. Now, number 4, with the Sony A6400, you have access to some, pretty up-to-date technology. So what do I mean by that? Well, the first, of course, is the eye autofocus. You have eye autofocus in this camera, and it's actually really good. This is actually the system that convinced me to move from my Canon 5D Mark III over into the Sony ecosystem, because I found it to be just so amazing. It's tack sharp, it's super sticky on the eye, and it's great. Now, of course, they have some updated eye autofocus systems right now for Sony, and they are better, right? But this is still really good. And so I feel like, you can't get caught up on that. You have some great technology here. Not to mention, this is also a camera that has burst mode. You can use flashes, and that means that you can attach off-camera flash as well, and you can get to learn that. And all in all, when it comes down to technology, this is still just a really great camera from that perspective. Number 5 is that this camera is actually weather sealed. Now, that is something that you're not always going to get when it comes down to an APS-C camera. And when it comes down to learning photography, that is great because now you can get out in the elements. You don't have to be shy or be worried about your camera and messing it up. Obviously, you're probably not going to want to be outside when it's just downpouring, right? But it's good to know that this is weather sealed and you have that added layer of protection for your camera. Now, the sixth reason that the Sony A6400 is the best beginner camera in 2023 for the money is simply the fact that, I mean, it's a great price right now. This camera came out in January 2019, right? And so some years have passed, and that means that the price has also dropped considerably for this camera. And like I said, the tech in this camera is great. This is still a phenomenal camera to get in even in 2023. And so it's a great price. And if you don't want to buy it brand new, you don't have to. You can buy it used from a website like mpb.com, and you can find a really great, like new Sony A6400, and you can be super happy with that as well. So it's really up to you whether or not you want to buy new or used. Don't let that hold you back. But really, that is the reason why I think that the Sony A6400 is the best beginner camera in 2023 for the money. Now, am I wrong? Did I get this completely wrong? Do you have another camera in mind? Leave some comments below. Let me know. Let me know. I really want to know what your opinion is. This is my opinion based on my experience with this camera. So if you have some other experiences, definitely let me know. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos like this one. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.